name's Wesley Brown, and I became an Eagle Scout in 2002 in Roswell, Georgia. I am the Director of Development at Westminster Schools of Augusta. My scout troop was Troop 1776, very patriotic number. We were located in Marietta, Georgia. I lived in Roswell, Georgia, so it was just right next to where I lived. And we were a big troop. We had about anywhere from 80 to 100 boys each year, like 8 to 10 patrols. We had a lot of adult leadership, very well organized. What I learned, and that what you hear from many scouters, including those who obtain the rank of Eagle, is the scout motto: be prepared. Especially as a professional fundraiser and event planner, you always have to be prepared. Be prepared, and when you approach people to support your mission, whatever that may be prepared in an event you're holding, because you never know what might happen, what you may need, how you may need to respond. So being prepared, always having a plan, is one important skill that I learned. And another one is how to lead. I deal with volunteers a lot. I deal with people in the community, and having the skill and knowing how to lead is invaluable. It's just, you have to experience it. You have to continue to refine and master that skill, and scouting gives you that opportunity at a very young age to know how to lead people. And it's unlike any other program I've seen in developing leaders. So in the Boy Scouts, they have what they call high adventure trips. And the way those work is that you go either canoeing or hiking or sailing with about a crew of a dozen scouts, and whatever you have with you is what you use on your trip. So they have 3 trips. One of them is canoeing in Canada, second one is hiking in New Mexico, and the third one is sailing the Florida Keys. So the first trip, I did all 3. The first trip I did was canoeing in Canada, and one of my, if not my top scouting memory, is during the trip, we came to a large lake. Now this trip is, you're canoeing through lakes, and then when you come to some land, you have to pick up your gear and carry it across the land, then you start canoeing in another lake. So we came to this large lake, and we had a guide who was with us, who knew the route and everything about it. He said, "Do you guys want to try to sail across this lake?" And we're like, "Whoa, what is he talking about, sailing?" And we were very hot, so we were like, "Yeah, sure." And we were probably really tired from paddling, so we're like, anything that would cool us off and get us across the lake faster, we're for. So what we did is we took 3 canoes. The inner canoe held the outer 2 canoes together, and then the scouts in the outer canoes took a large tarp and attached it to their paddles and held it in the air, and then the wind pushed the group of canoes we put together across the lake. So towards the end, when it appeared we were done sailing, we didn't really communicate very well. So we were young boys, we were just like, whatever. So the middle canoe started letting go of the outer 2 canoes, and they started bowing out, and I was in one of the outer canoes, and so we're holding this, it's kind of moving out, and it started pulling us, and we started toppling, and all of a sudden we flipped and we capsized, and we're all 3 boys in the water, all our gear's in the water, but we weren't upset, was the great part about it. We were just, it was great because we were hot and we're in the water, and we're just like, oh, this feels so nice. And 2, what was even more special was that in order to go on this trip, you had to obtain the canoeing merit badge. And one of the skills they teach you in that is what to do when your canoe capsizes. So we knew exactly what to do. We weren't panicked, and within no time we had that canoe upright and all of us back in it, and while treading water. So it was really neat. It was really fun. This is probably my top scouting memory. I think there's two great opportunities that I received because of scouting. One, as I said earlier, it taught me how to lead people, and I use that skill in work every day. I use that at home. I use that in my marriage. And not only did it teach me how to lead, in my Eagle Scout application, I listed where I wanted to be, goals I wanted to obtain. So it gave me the opportunity it gave me the opportunity to fulfill those goals and understand them. And so it was like, I want to be married, I want to graduate from college, I want to have a nice job, I want kids. I've done all that. So I feel like very grateful for what scouting gave me. Another thing it's done for me is it's allowed me to see places and go places that I probably otherwise would not have gone. I've sailed the Florida Keys, I've canoed the Great White North, I've hiked mountains and gone on backpacking trips. If without scouting, I would have never had the opportunity to do that. And it's such a formative stage in my life. I'd probably say two things. My Scoutmaster is Tom Morin, and today he is the camp director at Burt Adams Scout Reservation. And we were part of a large troop, 100 boys. And first I would say to them is thank you, because at least many would consider him an icon in scouting. I mean, he had an energy level unlike anyone else I've seen when it comes to scouting. I remember we'd go on trips and he would be up at like 6 a.m. when the sun's just coming over the land, and he would be like, "It's a great day for scouting," and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" So when I started in scouting, it was in a small troop in Alabama, and then we moved to Georgia, and I wasn't really going anywhere in my first experience. Then we came to Georgia, and my dad's like, "You want to continue with this?" Because he's an Eagle Scout. And I said, "I don't know. I'm not really into it." And he said, "Well, let's go find a troop and give it one last try." If it wasn't for Tom Morin, I probably wouldn't be here today as an Eagle Scout. So one would be thank you. And then two would be sorry. Because being a teenager, there was many times when he would try to guide me and I wouldn't listen to him, and I would misbehave probably, and so I wasn't being a perfect scout, but he continued to work with me and to push me and to make me a better person. So I would say thank you, and for those times when I was not on my best behavior, I apologize for that.